Now these are all some of the parts that I've had sitting in the basement waiting to be put on the car. Some of the stuff I knew I had to get replaced when I had the pre-purchase inspection done. Some of the other stuff, because of the type of driving I want to do with this car, was recommended to me by Richard Cheeseman over at Dirty Euro Customs, which is a shop that's going to be doing the work on the car. It's pretty common for E36s to have power steering leaks. Mine is no exception. My lines are leaky, so this is a refresh kit to get everything replaced so it doesn't leak. Now these are weld-on brackets for the mounts for the rear sway bar. They need some support when you do aftermarket sway bars that are larger than OEM like mine, so I'm getting these put on. Now what's in here is related to what is in this bigger box right here. Now what's in the bigger box is a Mishimoto radiator fan for better flow when I'm driving the car hard, just to keep everything cool. And what's in the smaller box is the wiring kit for that fan. In this other bigger box, well, there's a couple things in here. I'll pull this out so you can see it. The first of which is a Mishimoto radiator and a Mishimoto thermostat. Now in here, this is one of the things I had to get replaced when I had the pre-purchase inspection done. They're the polyurethane rear trailing arm bushings from UUC. Last but not least is another item that I knew needed to get replaced when I had the pre-purchase inspection. My water pump was leaking. This is a new water pump with a metal impeller. Now all that's left is to get all this stuff in the car, get the car down to Cheeseman's shop, the Dirty Euro Customs. We'll be back when it's done. I came here to go for a little rip in this parking lot. There's a lot of people here, but I guess they're just gonna get a show. We better get out of here, especially because this car isn't even registered yet. So we're gonna get back to the house and I'm gonna show you everything that we got put in the car. So I've actually been out driving for the last hour or so, just testing out everything, driving kind of hard to make sure that all the parts I got put in are working okay. And I also want to just feel if I could tell a difference. But now that we've had our fun, instead of going home, I actually decided to pull into this church parking lot that's like a couple blocks down the road from the other one. So I mentioned that the car wasn't registered, and here's why. I don't know if you can see the little, oh, that's my parking brake light, but right here is the airbag light. I ordered a scanner tool from China. Unfortunately, this time of year, China has their Chinese New Year. They end up making it like a 3-week-long festival where they don't work. But anyways, it's pretty annoying because I ordered that part a long time ago. It only shipped yesterday, even though I ordered it like seriously a month ago because of this Chinese New Year. So once that gets here, I should be able to clear that light. The car is insured, it's just the temp tag back there just is expired. But once I get that tool, I'll be able to clear that light, go get the car passed with safety and emissions. Now let's look under the hood. You're not gonna be able to see everything that I got done, but I should be able to show you some of the stuff. Okay, so here's a new housing for the thermostat as well as the thermostat inside of it. You can kind of see the new fan right here. That was put in the Mishimoto fan, and here is the radiator. I don't know how well you can see way down there. Okay, let's see. This line here goes to that reservoir with the little cap right there. So that whole system got replaced for the power steering. Basically my whole power steering system besides the rack and the pump is all brand new and replaced. I also got the belts done and some pulleys. Now one thing I got done that isn't under the hood is the rear trailing arm bushings. So the stock ones have a little bit of play in them. It's supposed to help you with turn in, the wheels just kind of set. It's almost like having 4-wheel steering. But because they were worn out, there was a lot more play than was supposed to happen. So what would happen when I was in the canyons, like carving canyons and whatnot, I would take a turn and I could feel the back end kind of sit to one side and then it would start to turn. And there was a lot of play. So after driving around, the good thing is all that stuff taken care of with the polyurethane bushings. It handles a lot better now. All right, back at the house now in the garage. Before we pop the hood, check out how these headlights look in the daytime when they're on. Let the camera adjust a little bit if it will. So what we're gonna do next is related to the install that we did on the headlights. So if you remember on that install, I said how these headlights stick back a little further, and because of that, it was hitting the intake. It's just not fitting perfect. So what I gotta do is this wheel here, I'm gonna take a tool and shave like 1 inch or so of it out here so the intake can sit further back, and that way the headlight's not gonna be cramming onto the intake. It'll sit back a little further and fit better the way I want it to. Before we get started, the UPS man just came by and dropped me a package, so I figured I'd show you guys what I got. Oh, I hate packing peanuts. They get everywhere. Ooh. What we have here is a little electric impact gun. One of my friends has this exact same one. It works really well. I think it goes up to 300 foot-pounds. Yep, 300 foot-pounds. It came with a free little light. Recommended. So here we go. This is the metal that I was talking about along this edge on the right. I'm going to trim off probably about, well, I'll probably trim up around here just until this edge right there and see how that ends up fitting. Oh! It's a good thing that I had this whole bag of blades because I used, let's see, that one exploded, that one exploded, that one exploded, and that one wore down to a lot smaller than this one is. And one, it blew up and I couldn't find it. But we're done. Here's the piece I cut off. You can take a look in here and see this is the line that I cut along. It's not the cleanest line in the world, but what I'm gonna do is take off this cutting blade and put on one of these little sanding wheels and we'll clean up the line a little bit. I think it's smooth enough now that it shouldn't cut up the filter when I put it back in. The last thing I'm going to do is just wipe this clean, and then we're going to tape this cut off right here and paint it so it doesn't rust. I'm not going to worry about the overspray too much. It's down here in the engine bay. Most of it's going to be covered by the filter anyways. So here we go. So I haven't attached all these things in yet, but I can tell that what we did worked because before, this little line that you see along here, the headlight was way out past it, and now I can actually push it back far enough that you can see it. Now, one of the big problems I had to do this in the first place was A, I'm anal about how everything fits, and B, when I would use the adjustment screws back here to change the position of the lens so that they're at the right height after putting these in, it was still aimed up too high that even when I had them maxed out, it still wouldn't go low enough. So now that I can get this in here, it should be able to fit okay. Now that we're done cutting up the car and we got all this stuff aligned, there's a few more things we gotta talk about, so let's hop in the car. So guys, there's a couple things we gotta talk about here. If you remember a while back, the first video that I did where I introduced you to the E36, the first modification that we did I showed you on camera, and that was the shift knob. And then I said that because it was in such a good condition that I was gonna go ahead and give it away. And all you had to do to be introduced to win that shift knob was to be subscribed to the channel, like the video, and comment in the comments below. And today is the day that I'm gonna announce the winner. So picked at complete random, the winner is Dimitri. All you gotta do now is comment in the comments below to let me know that you got this message, and then we'll get that sucker shipped out to you. The second thing I want to talk about is the comments. So the comments that I get on my videos, I try to answer every single one of them, but there are some questions that I get that are a little more common than others, and so I want to go ahead and answer those on camera so everyone can see. For today's question, or I guess it sometimes is more of a comment, and I'm talking to you, Carlos. You said, make an update on Landons BRZ. I do plan on making an update on Landons BRZ, and it is coming soon. But the problem is, it's been in the shop. Right now, it's getting its paint job finished up, as I'll show you right here. once it's out, we'll take a walk around of the car and then let you guys know what the plans are for the future and when the thing's gonna be back on the road. Now the last thing I wanna talk about is I wanna build a little more of a community here. I wanna get to know my subscribers better, and especially the people who are commenting on my videos. In one of my last videos, Philip, or sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, dude, but his YouTube name is Filet948, and he commented and told me that he was gonna go look at an E36 coupe. And then I told him that if he ended up getting it, to go ahead and post it to my Facebook page because I wanted to see it. So for those of you who are being more interactive in the community, I'm gonna go ahead and start giving shout outs. So today's shout out goes to you, Philippe. Now Philippe ended up picking up an E36 coupe and posted it to my Facebook page. So check it out, guys. And if you haven't been over to my Facebook page, go ahead and head over there. And if you want me to see a picture of what you're driving, or even just what you like, go ahead and post it to the page. And who knows, maybe you might end up in the next video. I figured that by doing these shout outs, it's just a good opportunity for us to get to know each other, and especially for me to get to know who you guys are better. And I think that's about all we have for today. If this is your first time heading over to the channel, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe. I do have some more modifications coming. The next little hint that I'll drop is it's a sticky one. If you haven't quite had enough of Treats on the Streets, you can go ahead and click up here to watch a video where we wide-body Landons BRZ ourselves, or you can go ahead and click down here to see an introduction to the E36 and my first drift on camera. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. You know I can't just end like that. One more little rip.